Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Renice and I'm a multi-passionate creative and singer-songwriter encouraging Black creative women to build a life and business of their dreams. Yay, welcome. So today I want to talk about a little thing called hustling. Hustling. It is everywhere. People keep saying it. People keep talking about it. That and grinding. Hustling and grinding. Like it's in everybody's vocabulary. If you're talking about business or exercising or building a life of your dreams, it's all out there. And it's just being like you're being inundated with all this information about how to hustle and grind and really do the work to like work your fingers to the bone to create something enjoyable. And so I am like adamantly against hustle and grinding culture. I am adamantly against it. I feel like I'll get to that in a second. But either way, if you resonate with this, like, share, subscribe, let me know what you think. And yeah, let's talk about this. So I talked about this extensively on a live I did on my channel. And it was really about Black folks and how hustle culture is not for Black people. It is not for Black people. It is insulting to Black people. I feel like a lot of times when Black folks or people who are underprivileged do something, it becomes gentrified. So say like, for example, I talked about before, like thrift shopping. Thrift shopping was for people who didn't have money or couldn't afford clothes from shops. So they would go to thrift stores to buy secondhand and to really just, build something they enjoy. But then what happened? All of a sudden, thrift shops starting to be, really trendy. Then they started raising the prices on thrift shops. And so most people can't access this stuff. Okay. Same thing happened with RVing. People have been RVing full time for a long time. And they've been looked at as trailer trash, right? Then all of a sudden it becomes gentrified. Oh, now it's luxury. Now it's like luxury travel. And people have been living in their cars for forever. Like it's frustrating. And I feel like the same thing has been happening with hustle and grinding culture. If you are new here, welcome. Black people have been enslaved in this country about 1619, the first ship got here. And from then on, we have been hustling and grinding for free for other people, literally working ourselves into a grave, literally working ourselves into death. Like that is hustling and grinding. And so now that we're trying to, and a lot of people have stories that are similar to mine where your parents maybe have worked, overtime constantly or multiple jobs, and they're exhausted and they're tired and they become sick or they're not able to enjoy the life that they want because they've been holding down multiple jobs. And so now we're in this world where it's really weird where people are pushing, hustle and grind and work until like you can sleep when you die and all this other stuff. And it's been celebrated. When for a long time, for people of color and for poor people in general, like hustling has been a means of survival, not of thriving, of survival. And so now they're pushing hustling and grinding to people who literally don't have a choice in the matter, right? As if this is something admirable or this is something to strive to. And then looking down on people who choose not to hustle and grind. So I already know I'm going to get some feedback or pushback from this because it's a mentality that most people have is that you have to work hard for everything you get. For Black people, I'm sure for other people too, you've been told you got to work 10 times as hard to get half as far. And I am no longer accepting that notion. I don't think that I should have to work myself into a grave to be looked at as worthy or to be looked at as valuable. And really that thought process comes back to slavery times. Our worth was literally wrapped into what we could create, what we could impact, like how much work we can get done. And if we weren't getting a lot of work done, we were punished. And I feel like that same mentality has been carried on from generation to generation. And even today, in schools, like we feel like we have to work so much harder to prove that we're worth being there, that we're worthy of being there. And I don't want to give that mindset to my children or my friends. I don't believe that we as Black folks should accept this mentality of hustle and grinding culture. To be honest, if I were to hustle and grind, I would feel like I would slap my ancestors in the face. They did not fight. They did not die. They did not work themselves into a grave for me to, in all my freedom and privilege that they did not have, to do the same thing to myself. And yes, there are some things in this world that we have to operate under. There are some things we have to do to survive, some things we have to do to be working citizens of this country. However, I don't think that my ancestors, if they were alive today, seeing us work and grind and hustle, looking at us and all of our freedom that they did not have and being like, good job, great granddaughter with hustling and grinding and making yourself sick and nauseated and working towards being rich when I couldn't have anything. I really feel like we really have to sit in this truth that the stuff that our ancestors did, they did for free and it was stolen from them. It was taken from them. They didn't have no choice in the matter. And now with all of your choices, we're choosing to hustle and grind ourselves into the ground. I don't know. Something about that does not sit right with me. It does not sit right with me. And therefore, I am adamantly against hustling and grinding culture. I'm all about ease. I'm all about building a life with ease and enjoyment and pleasure. And so many people tell you that it's not possible or that you have to suffer to actually build a life that you enjoy. And I reject that notion. I reject that I have to suffer in order to enjoy my life. There's a way that I want to build my life. I want to live partially retired for my whole life. I want to be able to work for a certain time and then take a break, do what I want to do, travel, see people I loved, do things that I love for myself, and then go back to work, like working for the life that I want to live instead of just working and then living 2 weeks out of the year. Like that, something is so backward about that, but it's become so normal. Hustle culture has become so normal, and this lifestyle of working until literally you're older is so normal that so many people miss out on their lives. And I'm just not about that. I'm just not. Black women are told so often that they have to suffer in order to be seen as valuable or as the prize. And I don't want to carry that mindset with myself anymore. I don't have to suffer to be valuable. Even in my business, I don't have to suffer to be valuable. If I don't want to do something and it doesn't feel right for me, I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to trust that God is going to take care of me. And I'm not talking about being lazy here. I'm not talking about cutting corners. I'm not talking about not doing work at all. But I am talking about building a life with intention and not just doing stuff because people said that I have to do it because this is what good human beings do. No, and also, even I talked about this before about being a millionaire, right? I understand the work that it takes to be a millionaire. I get that. I totally understand that, right? I'm not willing to do that work. Surprise! I'm not willing to do the work that it takes to be a millionaire as people see that it should be done. Okay, I'm not willing to sacrifice my family. Or look at all these people who are rich, who are getting divorced. Look at all this happening. I'm not saying that everybody who's rich has to get divorced or has to be immoral in some way. I don't agree with that, right? But I also understand that you sacrifice so much to get there, to get this dollar amount of money. And right now in my life, I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I love being able to wake up when I want to wake up. I love being able to go to the park and sit in my car and record a video. I love that I can create music whenever I want to. I love the freedom that I have. And I understand that with my freedoms comes certain sacrifices. For that money comes certain sacrifices. And some people literally reading books and stuff like that, they say, oh, well, yeah, you work 10 years and then you'll never see your friends. You won't be able to have fun, but then you'll be rich. And I'm like, why can't I have both? Why can't I have both? Why can't I be wealthy as in having enough to give away, having enough to save, for an emergency fund, and also be in good health, right? Relationally, spiritually, holistically, and be able to live a good life. Why can't I have both? Why can't it be both? Maybe it's a lie that people are telling us that we have to be enslaved to the dollar in order to enjoy a pleasurable life. Maybe that's a lie. And I feel like it is a lie. Pleasure is not something to be earned. Pleasure is not something that you have to prove that you're worthy of. Pleasure is not something that only rich people do. There are pleasurable experiences we experience every single day. And even our slave ancestors had pleasurable experiences, right? They saw fit to say, you know what, we're going to enjoy this, even if it was done in secret or, even if it was done under oppression. One thing Black folks will do is have a great time. And I don't think that we have to sacrifice our pleasure just to be well. I don't think that. And I really want to honor my ancestors for all the sacrifices and things that they've done for me to be able to build a life that they would be proud of, a life of choices, a life of not being enslaved in another way to a dollar, to an employer. I'm trying to build financial freedom in the way that is honorable to my body, to my well-being, to my mental health, and to my spiritual health, and to my ancestors. That's what I'm trying to do. So I hope that this makes sense. If this resonates with you in any way, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts, because you're not a slave anymore. We're not slaves anymore. We don't have to be. We can build a life on our own terms. And there are people who are choosing to build a life on their own terms in their way. So they might not have the mansion. They might just have an RV, but they're traveling the world and they're seeing all these things that we can't see because we're too busy sitting in a cubicle. You know what I'm saying? For money, when they have pleasure, they have enjoyment, they have a life on their own terms. And that's what this channel, that's what I am all about. That's what Black Girl Creative is all about. That's what all this stuff is all about. It's about building a life on your own terms. You don't have to do what other people tell you to do. You don't have to build a life that other people say you should live. You have choice in the matter. You're free now, sis. Honor your ancestors by making the choices that you want to make. And if you choose to be a millionaire, if you choose to do the work, if you choose to be, working from sun up to sundown, do you, but understand that you have a choice in the matter. You don't have to do it. And I'm doing the same way even with building my own business, making my own art, doing it my own way. I understand that it's not going to be looked at as, the standard, but I'm willing to take that L. Actually, it's not really an L, it's a win for me. I'm willing to win in my own way, by my own rules, playing by my own rules, okay? So I implore you to do the same. Really look at your life and take inventory of the life that you're living. Are you living it for you or for other people? Are you enslaved to grinding and hustle culture? Are you working yourself into an early grave just to hold on to money? Really, what are you doing? And why are you doing that? Where is that coming from? Why don't you feel like you're worthy beyond that? Why can't you take a break? Some people say oh, I can rest when I die. Okay, and then you're dead, and then what? You're of no good to anybody else. Like, why? Why do you want to be enslaved? That's just my thoughts on the issue. I know other people have other thoughts than this, so yeah. You are more than what you create. You are more than what you make. You're more than how productive you are. I know that ancestrally we have been told that we are only worth how much money we make, and that is not true. We are only worth how much stuff we create for other people, not even for ourselves. And even this idea that we're trying to judge ourselves by how much money we have is still slave mentality, y'all. And we got to let it go. We have to let it go. You are worthy because you exist, because you are. You are worthy. You are a worthy being. And your worth has nothing to do with how much money you have, nothing to do with what business you own, nothing to do with how talented you are by other people's standards. You are worthy just because you exist, because God saw fit to create you. And that's the whole message of this whole thing. So I love you. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you all soon. All right.